Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last day of Horizon Wellness Week. We are very sad that it's coming to a close, but we are looking forward to this great session with Virginia over at Uniq Creations. So while everybody gets populated into the webinar, let me just go over a few Zoom features. Since this is a webinar, we're only going to be able to interact with you through the chat. So if you see at the bottom of your screen, you can type us messages. If you select all panelists and all attendees, you'll be able to send your messages to everyone who's attending this session today. You can also send any questions that you have through the Q&A feature. If you send a question in this way, only Virginia and myself will be able to see those questions. So if you have something anonymous, go ahead and send it there. We are going to have closed captionings available today. So if you see at the bottom of your screen, you'll see live transcript. You can either choose to show or hide these depending on what you want today. We're also going to have a survey that we're going to send through the chat at the end of this session. If you could fill that out, we really appreciate your feedback about this session and Wellness Week in general. So if you're just tuning in to Horizon Wellness Week for the first time, welcome to our last day. We decided to do Wellness Week because, we're an affordable housing provider in Calgary, and we serve just over 1,200 residents. And we know it's been a tough year full of changes and challenges. And so we brought Wellness Week together in an attempt to bring wellness resources, tips, and tools directly into the comfort and safety of your home. So I will get started into introducing Virginia and our session. So Virginia is the owner of Uniq Creations, which is a holistic wellness practice. She is actually located in the retail space at one of our own residences, Horizon 14. So this is a really, really great way. We've got Virginia as a commercial neighbor, and all of the residents there at Horizon 14 are just a hop, skipping away. So Virginia is the owner of Uniq Creations, as I mentioned, and she offers a number of services that empower her clients to thrive towards more genuine and inner relationships with their bodies. So I'm really excited about today's session. Virginia is going to teach me and you some really exciting stuff. So Virginia, take it away.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this session. I'm so proud and thankful that we're able to do this under the circumstances. Being here at Horizon 14, having group wellness as well as access to outdoor space is fabulous. I encourage you to pop on by, come chat with me, text or call in all safety precautions possible, and get some questions you have answered to see how we can collaborate and work together and be able to have Uniq Creations offer wellness and offer at an affordable price point as well. That is dear to me and important that gets shared. So today's session, of course, and so the background with the tennis ball.
Sorry, Virginia, I think we were getting a little bit of feedback from you. We couldn't quite hear you very well. You're muted, Virginia. Do you want to unmute there for a second?
Does that help any? Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's much better actually, Virginia.
And it looks like my start video has an X line through it, but
I can see you.
Okay. All right. So should I go back to the part that we're talking about?
Maybe come closer to your microphone, Virginia. I think when you step back farther away, I think we can't hear you as well. So.
Is this a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that. All right. So the basis behind what a tennis ball can do is release tight muscles and tension and like the fabric of our bodies internally. So there's this web that's around muscles, tendons.
Oh, sorry, Virginia, we can't hear you again. For some reason, you sound okay, but then you echo. So can you, I think you've got your phone and your laptop. If you wanna maybe make sure that the sound is off completely on one of them, that would be good.
Okay. How is this, you guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, but you're echoing, Virginia. So maybe I think you might still have the sound on your laptop or your phone. If you wanted to try turning the volume all the way down on one of them, I think it will prevent the echo.
How is that? Can you hear me now? Is that loud enough? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, that seems to be better.
Okay, I can barely hear you, but let's wing it. Okay, so did you hear about me talking about the web that encompasses our entire inner body? If that's the case, it's around muscles, around tendons, around our organs, and it's a protective sheath. So when that sheath gets tight, there isn't the pliability. So in order to open up that space, create the pliability to allow for more flexibility, there's some little tricks we can do, like the tennis ball release. So this stems back from what's called anatomy train lines. We have a front body, a back body, side body, and then spiral. So what we're going to do today with the tennis ball release is release the back body by a quick technique with your feet. So here are 4 options of balls. From my right, we have a racquetball, and of course the tennis ball, squash ball, and the white one is a lacrosse ball. So pop out your tennis ball. The density, the reason why I'm showing you this is the density of all these therapeutic balls is different. So it's up to you to figure out if you have a brand new tennis ball or a very used tennis ball. A brand new one will have a harder density like mine, and one that's a little bit used will have a little bit more softness. Everybody's tolerance is different, so it's up to you to decide which. But let's go with the tennis ball that you're given in your packet.
And Virginia, I think we can all hear you a little clearer when you're up close like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move my camera. If you wanna stay up closer to the microphone, I think we can hear you much better once you're standing up close. So let me be your guinea pig here.
Okay, perfect. And again, my volume. All right. So the idea behind the tennis ball will be, it'll be placed underneath the heel of your foot. And then we'll gently work our way towards the toes. But we want to do a pre-test first to see how much we can actually bend for the pleasure and the trick of the tennis ball. So can I go back to my mat and show you guys? So standing with hips and legs apart, in alignment, ankles, knees, and the joints of your hips. Softly bend those knees. Place the hands on the hip crease. You can tell by doing this. That's your hip crease. Softly have those knees bent. Lead from the chest and pull forward as far as you can go comfortably. Dropping the arms and letting them go. Now notice where your fingers are to the mat, to the floor. You don't want to necessarily be on a padded carpet. So take notice of that. And then you'll see the difference after we do the tennis ball release as to how much farther that back line of your body has been able to release from doing the tennis ball technique. All right, let that head drop, Moira. Yeah, let that head drop all the way. Yes, that's proper core. So that's excellent. Everybody take note. And then pop those hands back up in the hip crease. And then draw from the chest, lifting forward, yeah, up to the stand. Perfect. So let's take that tennis ball. Either left or right side, and the hips in alignment.
Virginia, can I please ask you to come up to the screen and just instruct Moira? We can't hear you from back there.
Pardon?
Can you instruct Moira from right at the mic, because we can't hear you when you're back there at all?
That's what I thought. Okay, sounds good. So Moira, place the tennis ball underneath your left heel, as that's exposed to the camera. And so align your right heel so that it's flush and parallel. Perfect. That keeps the pelvis neutral and everything in alignment. And so you want to press down 2 or 3 times onto the tennis ball. And that massaging technique is what is going to release the beginning stages of that connective tissue line. And like Moira, make sure you're in balance. So even the simple fact that her head is turned towards the camera can throw her balance off, sending a different message to the brain for functional structure. So that's a test for her and me to be guided along without looking into the camera. Okay, transition from the heel into the arch of the foot. And then realign the heels, legs, and pelvis so that they're in neutral. And again, press down into the arch, massaging the middle body of your feet. The foot has reflection as well to all your organs. So we just massaged all of the excretion organs and reproductive organs. Now we are moving our way up in the middle to all of the central functional organs. Large intestine, small, liver, spleen, stomach. All right, and then you're moving your way up to the pad of the foot. Realign the legs, pelvis, so you're neutral. And notice how she's working her way back to the countertop. That's fantastic. And so massage the pad of the foot. So it's the biggest part of the top of your foot, or your feet, even though I'm showing you my hand. So this area connects with all of the heart and the lungs. Bronchial tubes, breathing, throat, all that kind of stuff. So you're pressing up and down as well. And then shift so that just the edge of your toes, possibly if your heel can go down to the floor. And then you're going to massage the edge of the toes as well. So that's that finishing line. the connective tissue for anatomy training. All right, if you're comfortable with that, and this is a good case, Moira, I'll have you turn around and demonstrate your right side. So if you can self-pace and guide yourself with about 30 seconds to a minute of each 4 positions, this might be a good time to answer any questions that are coming in. As well, I just moved my phone away. Does that help at all? No. I'll check. I didn't think I even logged in. Does that seem like it's any better? Sounds like a hurt. Okay, Moira will be done with that. I am logged out. There's nothing going on here. All right. I didn't catch that. All right, so let's do the retest to see how much has been released by using this tennis ball technique. So again, feet hip distance apart, and your hips are here of the bones, not the actual muscle. So have those lined up. That looks great, Moira. Soft bend in the knees. Hands come to the hip crease. And we'll lead from the chest so as not to wrap our back. Drop those arms. Let the head soften towards your chin. And to what I can see, are you touching the ground, Moira? You are. That is phenomenal. So how many more inches, I can't quite tell from here, did you increase by releasing your feet?
Moira's on mute, so we cannot hear her right now.
There you go. Okay, perfect. That is phenomenal. So something like
Beginning of this, I couldn't touch the ground. I have never been able to touch the ground. And with that, when I bent over that next time, I was touching the ground.
That's awesome. This is what I love about things like this. Is to me, like this is a small thing that can be done minutes and minutes a day and over a long period of time. That fashion, that connection will allow for more flexibility and more mobility, drawing away from tension, tightness, restriction, and pain. So the idea behind this, even though it seems like magic, needs to be done regularly. And regularly is daily. And that will change and imprint the brain to start new patterns and habits, have that flexibility and ability. So awesome. Great to see. Let's move on to the next section with a little bit of restorative technique with a rolled towel.
Oh, Virginia, before we get started on the next session, I just want to ask a couple questions of you. So I just wanted to, I saw a question come in the chat. If your feet are together, but our feet are supposed to be shoulder width apart, correct?
not shoulder width apart, pelvis.
Okay, so aligned with your hips then.
Yeah, so not the outer hips, but the actual pelvis insertion to the leg bone into the hips. Yeah.
Awesome. And I know my balance is definitely not the best, and you saw me kind of shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, to do this while holding on to something, or maybe could you even do it seated?
Yes, thank you for that. I'm kind of reading it echoey as well. To be able to do this seated, you'd want to have a 90-degree angle of a chair. The forward folding is the same thing. You just don't need to put your hands to the hip crease because you're already seated. You would fold forward and see how far you can touch. As well with seated, pay close attention to the space that you're creating in through that back line. Because even though you can maybe touch your ankles, you might be touching a tight back or tense back. So that's a key thing when you're in a seated position.
Awesome. I also just want to throw out there that if anybody wants to enable their closed captions, that's also very helpful. I know, Virginia, when you move back, it's a little hard to hear. So everyone feel free to turn on your closed captioning. That might help just assist in understanding what we're saying.
Thanks for being so understanding, you guys, with everything here. Is it a good time to transition into the
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, perfect. And Moira, you'll do a demonstration.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have a blanket ready? Or a towel?
I don't have a blanket, but I have a towel.
Perfect, that's great. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'll just grab my handy blanket. It's a thin one. So the basics around that is to be able to have it about the size, the length of your spine. So that's a great portion. And then I always like to take the open edge seams and tuck them in. So we roll them really nice and tight. So you can see that. That way your edge is all tucked in. And there's not layers. Perfect. So Moira, let's have your head facing the cabinet. When you go to lie on the mat. Yeah, exactly. Great. So give yourself enough space to switch towards the short end of your mat. Oh. Yeah, that way. Okay, good. And so the roll will be placed right at the lower back. So that is the pant line. That's an easy way to be able to figure it out. And that open edge, make sure it's rolled down. And then that way it's just a little more protective and it holds the shape. So softly draw back onto your elbows if that's accessible. And she did it with grace. And looking at her alignment of where that roll is, it looks like it's at the pant line, which is where the lower back is. How does that feel for you, Moira?
It feels good.
Okay, so draw the feet to the outside edges of your mat. Bent legs. Bend your legs. Yeah, so yes, and just allow your legs to hang and fall. So in doing this, this creates softness if the knees hang inward. create softness through the pelvis and the lower back to create space, working with the breath. How is that position as you're lying here, Moira?
It feels good. The towel feels like a little bit of a back massage.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yep. So a couple little different tips would be to either lie here for 5 to 10 minutes or longer, depending on your circumstances. You can take the bent knees and windshield wiper them back and forth. Yeah, exactly. And so do with smooth precision so that that creates a little bit of a massage to the spine, to the vertebrae. It creates more blood flow. And then pause and come back to the middle. And breathe. You guys, I just thought of something here. I can see myself in another screen. Ariane, should I be closing the one that is possibly echoing? It's asking me to leave meeting. I don't think that's it. Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me now?
That sounds much better to me.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I just could see myself doubling. I was like, wait a second. So this is good. Oh,
Yeah, much better.
sorry, everybody. I know we're about halfway into the session right now. So this is stage 1 for the lower back. This is a great way to create space, create more softness, a restorative yoga pose to be able to offer your body's nervous system some rest and renewal. And so the second stage that we'll do, we're roll towards the camera, coming off of the roll. Yeah, arm comes up, nice. And push with that exterior arm, awesome. So we're gonna take that roll, I've already undone mine, but take that roll and move it up without moving your buttocks and hip by about 5 to 6 inches so that that roll comes to the breast line and around the armpit. And so you will lie onto your side, onto that roll, in around the breast line and the armpit. Beautiful. If that's a smooth transition for everybody looking at that, then you want to make sure that when you roll on your back, that that length of that towel or blanket is going to be fully on your back.
Virginia, question from Brian. He asks,
Yeah.
are you using the towel for softness or can a yoga mat also work?
Beautiful question. A yoga mat is excellent to use. If you have a lot of tension and tightness where you can't create space, the density of a yoga mat might be a little bit too much. Great question, but it can be used, yeah. If you have that accessibility, go for it. And then another little trick would be as well, if you have 2 of the same magazine, then you drop that magazine with the seams on the outside and you would roll the yoga mat in there, creating a little bit more denseness. Make sure it's tight because the size of that roll matters. You don't want to have a big bolster. You don't want to have a big roller. You want something that allows for cushioning and space. So taking a look at Moira, Moira's arm positions are down by her side. So that would be stage 1, wanting to open up that chest area. So Moira, let's take those arms to a low V. And so you can see the towel is buckling a little bit over her arm. That would be stage 2. Moira, if you have the space and the access, draw your arms out to a T, so parallel with your shoulders. Now the picture is much smaller, so that's why I'm coming in a little bit. Moira, I'm gonna have you just nudge yourself towards the cabinet by like an inch or so to create more space so that your arms roll past the towel. That looks better. How was that adjustment for you?
Good.
Yeah. So just, yep. You can see it like opened up her chest a lot more as opposed to the roll doing this with her shoulders. Excellent. So down by your sides is 1, 2 would be a low V, upper V, T, and then by chance, you can turn it into a bit of into a soft cactus. So a W shape with your arms. That's another stage. And then straighten those arms into a wide V or a U. That would be like 5 and 6. And then eventually when you have the space in the back, you'd be able to lie there, having the openness in through the upper part of the chest with your arms right above your head. Which position, Moira, does it feel best for you to be able to create softness?
The straight out to the sides definitely felt the best for me. When I moved my hands up, I felt a little bit of my shoulders kind of tightening up. So I think that if my shoulders are feeling tight, I should probably go back down to the T.
Great. That's a perfect way to be able to check in with yourself, and how you described it is a way of like inner listening. So that's awesome. We don't want to go to our 100% edge. We want to stay at about 70-75% softness. And so again, that's that middle stage. And so if you want to roll towards the camera again, so notice how the roll has kind of come undone. So each step of the way, you want to be able to make sure that that towel or blanket is rolled nice and tight. And so the point of that is that it shapes and has that comfortability, so that when your spine lies on it, the shoulder blades will be able to release and let go as opposed to being propped up. So excellent. Where are we at with this stage for any questions?
No questions at this moment.
Okay, perfect. And so let's throw one more thing in there, Moira. Let's take that roll that you have, turn it lengthwise to your mat. Yeah, we're going to place the lower part of the yoga mat, towel, or roll at the lower part of your back. And you're going to lie vertically on that. So if you're comfortable to be in the position that Moira's in and lie back, great. If not, then come to your side, have it lined up, and then roll over onto that roll. And that's great to demonstrate both. So what we want to see is that roll. We need to clear that lower back to create space. So right where your pant line is, and or slightly below towards your buttocks. That's as far as we want to go with that. And so this is a moderate to intermediate variation for elongation of the spine. Have your feet to the outside edge of the mat again. Awesome. Allow for the knees to fall in wherever they want to go. And then this is where we would sit and work with our breath. Simply noticing, taking awareness. Notice where we have space, where we can create more softness, where possibly it's a little bit tight and restricted. Moira, how is this for you?
Feels good. It feels like a massage on my spine.
Oh, yeah. And just lay your head, let me see where your head position is there. Is your head on the actual towel?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So it just happens to be her role and the length of her spine. Her head is able to rest on the edge of the towel or the yoga mat. If by chance you have a longer spine, smaller roll, then your head may come off the towel, which is perfectly fine. You want to be able to give yourself the best rest position. So we do not want to see where our head is doing this lying on that roll. So we want to be able to bring it into neutral. So if anybody is having that experience, then draw a soft pillow or another blanket to tuck underneath the head to keep it neutral as opposed to extension. All right, so all you're going to do, Moira, is breathe for the next minute or two, and I'm going to talk a little bit about other options that Uniq Creations and myself support. So one of the key things that I would work with, if it's suitable to you as a client, would be able to offer essential oils. I'm proud to use doTERRA. It's a highly respected and researched company. And I'm going to give you 3 single essential oils and 3 blends. And the reason why I like to work in essential oils, there's a saying that your nose knows. And the reason behind that is when we take smell as one of the senses, our olfactory nerves are very connected in a small proximity to our brain, and it sends a message very, very quickly. So that's why when you smell something, you either know you like it or maybe you know you don't. And even though you might not like it, that doesn't mean it's not the oil for you. Sometimes that means, depending on your system, that needs a little bit more support. So 3 essential oils singles is frankincense. So frankincense supports your emotional needs, skin, nervous system, and your immune system. It is one of the queen oils to have in your toolbox. So these are some self-care tips and tools that I will always offer along the way when you come in, especially for one-on-one work. A second one that we might know a little bit more is ginger. Ginger supports healthy digestion and the nervous system again. It's a highly functioning, easy accessible oil and grocery store buy. So the third and last one, again, easy accessible, is lemon. Lemon is a great detoxifier. It helps support respiratory, digestion, and immune. So you can see where I'm going with the 3 of these. They all have immune, which is exactly what we need right now. They all have digestive and respiratory, a little bit different to the emotional. How are you doing, Moira?
Good. Feeling very relaxed.
If you had these oils, you would be, and the lights down, it would be even top notch. Let me talk about the next 3 blends. So doTERRA's grounding blend is called Balance. And it's great literally to create and draw energy down and get you grounded. It's for calming the body and calming the mind. So it comes in a bunch of different forms, all these oils. The second doTERRA blend oil is the massage blend or aroma touch. Now it's great for muscle support, feelings for relaxation, because it's able to release anything that's a little bit more tight and tense. And then the third blend would be what's called the uplifting blend, and it's cheer. So it promotes optimism, cheerfulness, and happiness, creating that space for the heart with a little bit more joy and presence. And of course, that's really, really needed in a time like this as well. So these are a couple little additions that I would support you in a session. As well, key things are talk phrases. So we value high frequency words and high frequency phrases. So something like, I keep forgetting, we would translate and work with you to say, I need to remember. And you can see the value in something like that as an example. So with that mindset and shift, it helps all the things that I was talking about along with what the oils do. So both for physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional. And I'm here to be able to support and offer that in whatever way you guys need me to. Affordability is key, and we can work with that together.
Virginia.
So, Moira,
well, you just mentioned affordability. I want to mention that in relation to a question that came through, talking about essential oils on a budget. So are there solutions for folks at home who maybe cannot, don't have the extra cash flow to afford essential oils? One suggestion offered was a mixture of lemon juice and water in a spray bottle. Do you have any suggestions for essential oils on a budget?
Yeah, what a fabulous question, and thank you so much. Of course, lemon, that was one of the ones. Lemon and ginger, they can be grocery buys. And so drinking lemon water, for sure, first thing in the morning is a key thing to jumpstart your system in the detoxification process after you've been sleeping. And if you want to drink it during the rest of the day, it's refreshing. So if the oil isn't accessible to you for ginger or lemon, that's a perfect thing. And I want to make it accessible. So even if for $17 or $20 for a 15 ml lemon essential oil, if that was something that you wanted to try and you wanted to use, even if it's topical, then come in. I can reduce 15 ml bottle into pint-sized little guys for you to be able to try it. So I hope that helps. I hope that answered the question. Moira, how's your breath going?
Good. I sit at
Okay, so this is another aspect that I would work with you and support you in a position like this, or the horizontal roll and the tennis ball release. So working with the senses is a key thing. Our surroundings with essential oils and breath on here, the focus could be on the exhalation. So most of us concentrate on the inhalation, but new research has come out where exhalation is a key factor to our vitality. And it changes the CO2 conversion, and so increases more improvement to cellular habit. So drawing the inhalation through the nose, if you find that there's too much heat, if you feel a little anxious or a little jittery or jazzed up, then taking your lips into a soft hole-like position as if you were to drink through a straw, in through the nose and exhale through the mouth like that. So the idea behind that is when we have this like build up in our systems, we're creating a lot of heat, and that heat needs to be expelled. And so this is one self-care tip and tool that you can use on a very regular basis if you're ever in that kind of a situation, which I can tell you this morning I had to use. So to be able to expel that buildup of heat is really important for our system's overall general health to come back together and work in harmony. And so with breath, Moira, you can come off to your side now, but stay on your side. So I've been tracking the time to support your head with your arm and or use the blankets. So Moira was on there for about 10 minutes. And if you happen to stay in that same position and be on there, that's a fabulous way to create more blood circulation and space for that spine after having done the horizontal lower back, mid back, and upper back techniques. And so what you kind of just did, Moira, was meditation. It just happens to be a form of restorative yoga, working with the breath and possibly essential oils for 10 minutes. So music can be included in that, sound therapy can be included in that, and we offer that all here within Uniq Creations. Cross your fingers with group stuff. For sure, outdoor, but definitely one-on-one. And I always want to be able to make that affordable. So please come have conversations with me. Affordable is different for everybody. So I'm here to listen and have an open heart. A couple last things more if you want to press yourself up. What we offer here, that would be considered restorative yoga. There's gentle yoga. There is somatic movement, which is movement that re-educates and retrains the brain's neural patterns and messaging system to be able to create more space so that our everyday life can have a lot of flow and vitality instead of the restrictions and tightness and tensions. And of course, starting at the feet is key for every day. And I guess for the touch practice of Uniq Creations, that area works within my Thai yoga bodywork practice, as well as biodynamic craniosacral practice. And everything I do is all light touch, and it has to do with your nervous system. So when you have a healthy nervous system that's in harmony, your organs talk the same language, there's flow in your system, we can sleep better at night, create more joy in our hearts. And that's what we provide here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Virginia. I know I spend a lot of time at the computer and kind of hunched over, and so creating that space and opening up is, it feels really good. So I really appreciate you taking the time to do this session. Again, she's located in the commercial space at Horizon 14. And if you have any feedback about this session, we just put a link in the chat. So let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about Horizon Wellness Week in general. And we have one more session today at 3 o'clock. We are learning about beyond wellness and how to create lasting change in our lives. This is from a special keynote speaker, Ernest Barbaric. So please tune in. That one's going to be really exciting as well. And once again, thank you, Virginia, and take care, everybody.
Thank you. I look forward to the next session too. I'm going to jump in on it.
Okay, awesome. See you then.
Hope to meet you guys soon.
Bye.